Hello everyone, today we have the FN Herstal 57 by Marushin. My name is Tony, I'm with Mag Monkeys here. Getting into the gun, we have a CO2 powered FN 57. It's not a very common pistol. Little background on the real pistol, it uses the same round as the P90. So those of you that are into the P90, love the FN products, you probably already know what this is. For those of you who do not, I highly recommend checking it out for the real steel world. It's a great round. I personally love it. It's a little expensive to shoot for my blood for right now, but eventually I would love to get one of these. It's a good gun. As far as the airsoft product goes, it's nice. Marushin did a really good job, knocked it out of the park. I was a little concerned when I first bought this. It was $150 to spend on a handgun. It is made of plastic, the whole thing. It doesn't sound, very satisfying right now in hand. It's very light. It's stupid light. It doesn't sound the greatest. And it's really light. It kind of feels cheap, I'll be honest. But this thing has been a great performer. Have never had an issue with it. Marushin, like I said, knocked this out of the park, and for a CO2 pistol, man, I tell you, they did a really good job. CO2 and Marushin don't necessarily always go together. They killed this product. They did an awesome job. I do want to talk about the magazine. This thing is like full metal construction, including the mag lips. So if you drop this bad boy, ain't nothing gonna happen to your mag lips. It's heavy though, so keep that in mind when you're getting extra mags and you want to put them on your pelt. They're gonna weigh you down a little bit. Full metal construction plus a CO2 12 gram in here plus BBs, all that weight adds up. And it is a little wider than your typical pistol mag, so keep that in mind. You can get them in pistol mag pouches. They're kind of a pain in the butt to do, but they can fit in there if you're gonna play a game with them. I highly recommend getting these in your pouches maybe the night before or even a week before, just to kind of let your pouches get used to them. So this mag is pretty solidly built. They do make replacement valves for these, so if they ever do give you an issue, you can get a nice easy replacement valve. So that's good to know. This here is your functioning safety. You operate it with your shooting hand, so that's a little bit different than I'm used to with the pointer finger. But from a safety standpoint, it actually kind of makes sense. You're always taught to not put your finger on the trigger until you're pulling the trigger, and then at all other times it should be here. So realistically, your safety can be on until you go to pull the trigger, if you want to be like that. If not, you can rest it here and just ensure that safety is off, and then go to your trigger when you need to. As far as the sights go, you've got standard 3-point sights there. Nothing too fancy. They are adjustable for rear sight, at least is adjustable for, it looks like, windage here. Not for elevation, but that's what your hop-up's for. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart. So taking this gun apart, you're going to go ahead and cock it back and lock it back with the slide catch, which is going to be this button right here. So you'll cock it back and push up to get that to catch for you. And then this is the kind of a pain in the butt part if you don't have nails. So if you don't have nails, a good flathead screwdriver, just gently though, and I do mean gently, this gun is all plastic to reiterate that, to slide that lever back. From here, you can push down on the slide release and slide this forward, and then you're going to pull up gently and then slide it off the back rails here. I'll explain more about that as we put it back together. It's already pretty well lubed, but we're going to go ahead and wipe that off, clean it, and put some more lube on it, just so you guys can see. So that's your lower receiver. You just put that to the side for right now. Then you have your upper receiver. So you've got the standard way to get the barrel out. You have your barrel spring. So this actually goes directly over your outer barrel. Then you have your outer barrel that's kind of weird. It just detaches like this. This is supposed to do this, so yeah. That's that. And then you have your inner barrel and hop-up unit. Your hop-up is a little bit different than most pistols. It's going to be this little wheel right here. And it's actually a pretty decent hop-up unit, and it'll hold the hop that you set to it pretty nicely. It's got a clicking thing it'll hold the position really well. So that's kind of nice. Once you've got it set, you really don't have to worry about it like getting messed up. And then to move on to here, you've got the blowback unit and the air nozzle right here. Things are looking pretty good. It's a little dirty though, so we're gonna go ahead and clean this. As far as airsoft pistols go, this thing's pretty good. It shoots low enough that you can actually use this in CQB, but it's going to be very close to that limit. So just keep that in mind. Don't be a jerk with it. It shoots hot, not hot, but it shoots pretty damn fast. Getting really close to that 350 FPS limit. And this thing with the CO2 and the snappy trigger response and how light the slide is and how light the overall gun is, it'll pretty much shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger. It's a snappy little gun. It's pretty damn loud too. So keep that in mind for CQB environments. So this is not a quiet pistol. This is definitely one of the louder ones that I own, which is kind of ironic given the whole thing's made of plastic. Overall, I really have to say I like this pistol, mainly because I really like the real steel pistol. I've shot it before. I'm a big FN fan. I love the P90. I love that round. I'm one of those people. So that's one of the main reasons I love this pistol. The other is, though, it's pretty simple to use once you've kind of gotten to know it. The hop-up, like I said, is pretty decent. It holds its hop. And it'll shoot the BB pretty darn far. I mean, we're not talking about a barrel upgrade here off the bat. We're talking about a standard brass barrel. Nothing fancy here. And it shoots pretty darn good. So I'm happy with that performance. Marushan did a good job with that. Magazine capacity is pretty good at 20 to 25 rounds-ish, which, believe it or not, puts it pretty realistically to what the actual magazine count is, given that thing actually holds 20 rounds, the real one. Once again, my love for this gun really comes from the real one and just like the round and the purpose of this being built and the history behind it. Which is, one aspect of airsoft. This gun costs $150. The real one costs like over $1,000. So, for somebody who isn't like sure if they like the ergonomics and like, would I like it as an everyday carry gun? Would I like this as a gun to go target shooting with? That type of thing. Get the airsoft version. It's much cheaper. It's affordable. You can figure out whether or not you like the gun or not before you spend the money on the real thing. And then, obviously, if you get the real thing, you've got cross-training going on, which is nice. And, of course, unlike the real gun, which is why we all airsoft, that's why I airsoft, it's good training for realistic scenarios, and you can't shoot your real gun at somebody and not go to jail for it. So, airsoft is about the next best thing that you're going to get. Lube with this gun, you can go a little lighter on this than you would with a normal gun, just because you don't have that metal on metal contact. You do have plastic on plastic contact, which granted isn't going to do the same type of wearing as your metal on metal, but you still want to make sure you have lube on there. Putting this in it's kind of a pain, I'm not going to lie. I actually generally compress the spring on the barrel and then slide the barrel in to kind of get things lined up, at least started. And then I just kind of finagle it until things fit the way they're supposed to. And there you have it. Putting the slide back on the gun is a little bit of a trick. You've got this hook thing. It's got a hook into this, and it's got to like line these rails up with this little mini rail in the back. So when I first got this gun, I must say this was like the biggest pain in the ass ever. So keep that in mind. It's very frustrating at first, but once you start doing this, you'll get better at it, I promise, and it's really not so bad. And the gun's pretty durable, so don't be afraid to kind of like I don't want to say get aggressive with it, but you know, play around with it. It's got a little give and take. Once you get it in there, it's pretty easy. You lock it back. This might slide forward all the way for you, might slide halfway, might not move at all. Just plop it all the way forward. Secures it in position. And yeah, there you have it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about anything I did, or anything about this gun, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to answer your questions for you. And if I don't know the answer to your question, I will Google it or find somebody who does know the answer to your question, and I will get back to you on it. So it's been another gun tutorial video from Tony from MagMonkeys. See you guys next time.